Marriage is the ultimate promise between two people who love each other, trust each other, complement one another, and who wish to spend the rest of their lives together. We make this promise in marriage without any conditions or reservations because we know our lives are better with them and because of them. Today we are gathered here to witness and celebrate as Tim and Sarah make this promise together in marriage. Sarah and Tim, I'll ask you to take a moment to look and smile into the cameras. We would like to welcome all of you, Sarah and Tim's family and friends who are watching their wedding on a live stream all across the world in different time zones. Although you might be behind a screen, we certainly feel your love with us and are so grateful you are watching them get married today. Thank you. And you can look back at each other. We'll take a moment to acknowledge and remember loved ones who are no longer with us, in particular, Tim's parents, Peter and Jocelyn. Although Peter and Jocelyn are not physically with us today, Sarah and Tim are forever grateful they were able to celebrate their engagement with them. Peter and Jocelyn were so happy and excited for Sarah and Tim to take this next step in their lives together. We know that they are here with us as well as all other loved ones in spirit. Marriage means something different to everybody, and for Sarah and Tim, they came up with the following answer together. Marriage means being with each other through happy and miserable times and everything in between. It means always having each other's backs, learning to respect each other's individuality, and supporting each other's personal growth. To Sarah and Tim, the commitment of marriage is a declaration to each other and the world that they are each other's life partners. I'll begin today's ceremony with a reading from Waylon Lewis's book, Things I Would Like to Do With You. Love is no thing, and nothing is a gift. Space is a playground, and time and distance are merely cold peaks and green valleys in the topography of genuine love. Love does not require a map. It makes its way across the miles. Love does not heed the time. It does not care for 1 or 2 moons. Love is not bothered by obstacles. They form the high sides to the left and right of this rocky path. This path does not depend upon external signs. Love will find its own way. And for Sarah and Tim, love did make its way across the miles and an ocean as well. As all of you watching are connected to us through the power of the internet, it is ironically the power of the internet and Hawaii that brought Sarah and Tim together in the first place. Fortunately for Sarah and Tim, Laurel, Sarah's coworker, happened to tag in a few pictures on Facebook, which caught Tim's eyes all the way in Australia. Laurel and Tim had stayed connected through Facebook after meeting on Hawaii on a high school band trip all the way back in 1998. So Laurel would indirectly act as Cupid and connect Sarah and Tim virtually in 2017. Sarah had no idea that accepting Tim as a Facebook friend would completely change her life. Sarah and Tim began a series of conversations that started out quite lightheartedly, but eventually grew into something much more meaningful. Tim would ask Sarah when she was going to come visit him in Sydney, and a few months later, and after many, many hours of conversations, Sarah looked up flight prices. So, Sarah and Tim would meet in person in Sydney in March 2018. And after nearly 8 months of getting to know each other from opposite sides of the world, Sarah and Tim were relieved to finally be together in person. They immediately clicked, and it didn't take long before it was very clear this was the beginning of something much more than just a friendship, but a true romantic relationship. It didn't take long before they decided to become exclusively committed to one another, and so that long-distance relationship began. From April 2018 to May 2019, Sarah and Tim spent whenever they could meeting each other's friends and families, visiting new places together, and overcoming the time difference and other obstacles that are a little bit of a challenge. Eventually, they knew it would become necessary for someone to move and take the next step, which meant orchestrating Sarah's move to Australia. Between the distance and the preparation for Sarah's move to a new country, this was no walk in the park. Many details needed to be coordinated between housing and jobs and visas. Many see-you-laters had to be had, and just add that to the inevitable stresses of moving. One of the most difficult parts of moving to Australia would be Sarah's dog, Gabby, who was 12 at the time, and she needed to stay stateside as she was a little too fragile to make the overseas journey. I'm happy to say now that Gabby is thriving at 15 and living a life full of leisure. As plans were set into motion, Sarah relied on Tim for lots of support throughout it all. Tim always provided Sarah with guidance, reassuring her she would find her way. He would take care of her, and everything would be okay. To begin the move to Australia, Tim flew to Wichita, where he and Sarah celebrated the start of their new lives together with an unforgettable 3-week road trip filled with visits to national parks and other sites, eventually ending their U.S. adventures in Hawaii to celebrate Sarah's 30th birthday before making their way to Sydney. Upon arriving in Sydney in July 2019, Sarah moved into Tim's house and they began building their new life together. Sarah quickly grew to love living in Australia, and Tim was incredibly caring, loving, and supportive through it all. Their relationship continued to strengthen and grow, and eventually this would lead to Tim asking Sarah to marry him. It was the last day of a school term on a Friday, June 2021. Tim sent Sarah a text message asking her to meet him at the beach, to which she responded saying she was tired and didn't really feel up to it. But Tim was persistent and hurried Sarah along, driving very quickly to the beach.
Something is up.
Is it Balmoral?
Yeah, that's
Balmoral.
it. Balmoral Beach.
Which was the first beach he ever took Sarah to on her first trip to Australia, and coincidentally, where Tim's mom's parents would get engaged. So they arrived right on time for sunset. Tim took the ring out of his pocket and asked Sarah to marry him. They bought a small bottle of champagne, a couple of plastic flutes, and drank it while they watched the full moon rise and told their family and friends the next day. Sarah and Tim's commitment to each other while spending so much time oceans apart speaks volumes to the love and connection they have for each other. So to celebrate that, I asked Sarah and Tim to name top 5 things they love and are most grateful for about each other, and I get to share those answers with all of you now. For Sarah, she loves Tim's gentleness, his sense of humor, his patience with her, his ability to always cheer her up, and of course, his handsome looks and charming smile. Sarah is most grateful for the great communication she and Tim share. She loves that they both love to travel and explore, and that Tim always is so loving and supporting. And for Tim, he loves Sarah's smile and sense of humor, her unwavering determination to succeed in every task she sets out to achieve, her kind-hearted nature, her love of animals, particularly dogs, and her loyalty. Tim is most grateful for Sarah's enormous capacity for love and her companionship through tough times and joyous times. Sarah and Tim, your marriage will change as you continue to love each other better, get to know each other more deeply, and grow together as you continue to progress through life's various stages together. Although you will change in ways you cannot yet perceive, today you accept the mystery that lies before you and prepare for an unknown journey together. Sarah and Tim, it's time for you to declare your intentions in marriage. Do you, Sarah, take Tim as your husband, best friend, and your one true love?
I do.
And do you, Tim, take Sarah as your wife, your best friend, and your one true love?
I do.
And do you, Sarah and Tim, promise to be each other's lifelong partners from this day forward?
We do.
This moment is the anchor that holds your past and your future together. Today you are beginning a journey together that will last the rest of your lives. And like any journey, there will be amazing experiences on mountaintops, today being such type of experience. Sometimes you will walk through valleys and have trouble finding your way. But no matter where you go, and no matter how long the journey is or how difficult, the person beside you always makes the journey worthwhile. Before you exchange wedding vows, I'd like to remind you, Tim and Sarah, the one thing you'd like each other to never forget. Tim, Sarah never wants you to forget that you are the most important person in the world to her, and she loves you endlessly. And Sarah, Tim never wants you to forget that he is here for you always, as he is inexorably drawn to you and loves and respects you. And so now, Sarah and Tim, it's time to say your wedding vows, beginning with Tim. So I'll say a line and then you say a line. Sarah, I promise.
Sarah, I promise.
To commit my love to you.
To commit my love to you.
To respect your individuality.
To respect your individuality.
To be with you through life's changes.
To be with you through life's changes.
And to love you forever.
And to love you forever.
Beautiful. Sarah, Tim, I promise.
Tim, I promise.
To commit my love to you.
To commit my love to you.
To respect your individuality.
To respect your individuality.
To be with you through life's changes.
To be with you through life's changes.
And to love you forever.
And to love you forever.
Beautiful. Sarah and Tim, the wedding rings you are about to exchange are an outward reminder of the promises you've made here today. May your wedding rings not only serve as a reminder of when you first met, the strong love that grew between you, and the love that will continue to grow over the years, but also as a reminder for you to work your love into practical things so that nothing will divide you, and that you carry forgiveness, kind words, and loving hearts with you always. So if we can now take out the rings. Ooh, nice box.
What?
All right. So then, yeah. So then Sarah, you can take Tim's. Tim, you can take Sarah's. And then we can put the box back. And then we're going to do that little longer hand. Okay. So Sarah, you're going to go first. So Tim, just make sure your hand's out so that everybody can see. And then you can slide it halfway on his finger, and then once you're done, slide it all the way on.
Yep.
Okay. Tim, I give you this ring
Tim, I give you this ring
as a sign of my love for you.
as a sign of my love for you.
Together we embark
Together we embark
upon the adventure of marriage.
upon the adventure of marriage.
I love you forever, my one true love.
I love you forever, my one true love.
Perfect. Go for it. Excellent. Your turn. Okay. And you can put it partially on her finger and then all the way on once you're done. Sarah, I give you this ring
Sarah, I give you this ring
as a sign of my love for you.
as a sign of my love for you.
Together we embark
Together we embark
upon the adventure of marriage.
upon the adventure of marriage.
I love you forever, my one true love.
I love you forever, my one true love.
Perfect. The birds came to sing. Okay, perfect. You can go back to holding hands. Yay. Sarah and Tim, thank you for making the choice to be here today. You'll hold a special place in the hearts of all of us here and those who are watching, and we look forward to supporting you in your marriage for many years to come. On behalf of all of us, I'll offer you these final words as you begin married life together. Love is meant to be an adventure. Let trust be your map, respect be your compass, and friendship be your passport. May you travel to the ends of the earth with and for each other and find happiness at every destination in life. So, get ready for the music. Oh, your face, oh. You know, do one. Please hold.
And make sure the volume's hit.
Volume up. Got it. And so now, by the power vested in me, I pronounce you, Sarah and Tim, officially married, and as soon as I move, invite you to begin your adventures in marriage with a kiss.
Hi everyone.
Hi everyone! Thank you so much for joining in for the live stream of our special day. I want to give a big shout out to my mom and my dad and my brother and all of our family and friends who are watching all across the world in all different time zones. We thank you so much for taking the time to watch us on your computers or your phones, and we just really appreciate you joining in for our special day. We love you all and we can't wait to celebrate with you all whenever we see you next.